Howdy Who's Cows, it's your boy Baby B. Thanks for kicking in with me. How y'all doing? This is my newest segment for this channel, Baby B's Reviews. This is going to come out every Monday. I'm a little bit behind, so today I wanted to review one of the games that so far this year has been my favorite game. Now, I want to talk about God of War. When I first saw the news that Santa Monica Studios was making a God of War game, I was super excited and extremely nervous. The God of War franchise on PS2 made me realize that video games could tell a meaningful story. I was a huge fan of the original God of War series. That's why I was a little bit afraid to see my favorite character Kratos make a return for this new game. I was wondering, what could they do next? He's already killed all the Roman gods, so where's he going to go from here? And let me tell you, they delivered 100%. This God of War game is nothing short of a masterpiece. Now, it's not perfect, but it is one of the greatest games this year, and I won't be surprised if by the end of it, it's not Game of the Year. The gaming culture of today is not the gaming culture of yesteryear. Today's gaming culture is all about co-op multiplayer experiences. God of War strays from that completely. It's a single-player campaign mode that follows Kratos as he tries to tend to his younger son, Atreus. The story in this game has more emotion than previous God of Wars. Before, we've never felt the connection to Kratos like we have in this game. We see that Kratos is really trying to teach his son and trying to be a good father, but from all the things that are holding him back in his past, he doesn't know if he can quite make that leap yet. And it's great seeing that bond be built. Without spoiling anything, they go through a fantastical journey through the Norse mythology realm as they try to spread Kratos' wife and Atreus' mother's ashes across the vast landscape. Overall, I felt completely satisfied when I finished this game, though. There was no stone that I didn't feel like I had left unturned. Yes, the game left us with a few cliffhangers, but of course that sets up for the future of the franchise. And I can't wait to see what gods they face in this Norse mythology, or if they go to gods in foreign lands, which has been mentioned a few times. One of the first things that is extremely striking when you start this game is the visual effects. The graphics in this game just blow your mind. They're absolutely phenomenal. From the water to the highest mountain peak, it's absolutely phenomenal. Santa Monica Studios did not spare any expense when it came to making the graphics for this game. Everything felt real. The sound was just as good as the graphics. You could hear the leaves as they rustled through the grass. You could hear the clanking of metal. The soundtrack of the game is so great in scale that it honestly is worth purchasing as a separate CD just to enjoy. This game just seemed like it was a movie being played out in front of you. Not only was it a movie being played out in front of you, but it was a long movie at that. The game, I believe, for me, clocked in at around 25 hours. Of course, I went around and checked out some side quests and things like that. To platinum the game, it took around 35 hours. Some of the more technical things in this game that made it so great were the fact that there was no loading screen. There was no, overt sexual themes like in a lot of God of War games. The combat system felt great. You can change your Kratos to fit your style, whether you are more slash and attack based or more far off attack based. Not once did I feel like this was a typical escort mission when it essentially was. But Atreus furthered the value by helping me in combat. The axe throwing mechanic in this game is absolutely incredible. I don't think I've seen a game that has pulled off a weapon quite like this God of War has. I went through slashing hundreds upon hundreds of enemies and elves and creatures from different realms, and I never once felt tired of throwing the axe. On top of that, there are no microtransactions for this game. It is a complete game right out of the box. Despite all that, there are a few negatives. The game is linear, so if you're into RPGs or into multiplayer games, there's none of that here. Santa Monica Studios did a better job with this God of War than previous God of Wars in trying to make it feel a little bit more RPG-ish, but in the end, it still is a story-driven narrative. The side missions that you do and the beasts that you kill after you beat the game really don't affect anything or tell any new stories. They just give more background to what's happening in your adventure, and if you want to, you should probably play those before you complete the game because of the loot that you'll get. Some of the enemies were also lacking. I felt that a lot of the enemies were reused over and over throughout the course of the game, which usually would be a huge minus for me, but it didn't quite have that sting this time because the story was just so great. Despite the fact that there are no loading screens, I would have preferred some kind of option for a fast travel. I admire what the director and producer of this game were trying to accomplish by having no cutscenes whatsoever, so that this could be a Birdman type-esque video game where it was just complete action straightforward. But some of the travel points felt a little bit reused at times, and it was just annoying when you were trophy hunting to have to go back to these same spots over and over again, and it took like 5 to 10 minutes. I would have much preferred a fast travel, even if it would have required a loading screen. This isn't particularly a negative, but it's something that I missed from the original games. I was a huge fan of the gore and destruction of the gods in the previous God of War games. In this game, the gore was brought down a whole lot. You still had those moments and those cool fight scenes and cutscenes where you destroyed a troll or something like that, but it just didn't have the effect as the previous games. For some, this may be a positive. This also leads to another fault of mine of the games, is that the game hardly has any boss battles. Yes, you have 1 or 2 really big battles with a lot of different enemies, but it's not quite the grand scale that we've seen in past God of Wars where you're attacking all the other gods and trying to slay Olympus. No, this one was drawn back in size, but it allowed the storytellers to tell a more contained story. So let's hope in the future installments we get more of that grandiose scale that we're used to. All in all, this game is great for old fans and new ones. If you love mythology, if you love heart-wrenching stories, if you love a good guy with a troubled past, this is the story for you. It's in your face and it's fast-paced action while taking in the beautiful landscape and sounds. Santa Monica Studios did a great job. I give this game a 9.5 out of 10. It's this close from getting a 10. Maybe as a series overall, once I see later installments of the game, I'll give the series overall a 10 out of 10. But right now, as it stands, is a 9.5 out of 10 just because of a little bit of the repetitiveness of the game. But other than that, this is a must-buy for any avid gamer. Until next time, I love y'all. Peace out.